Hey everybody, how are y'all doing tonight? We're gonna be doing a little bit of everything on this piece. I'm gonna do a piece, but it's gonna have to be in steps. I can't do it all in one night. But we're gonna be doing the top in gel stains, Miss Lillian's gel stains, and I'm gonna be using vintage chestnut. And I'll show y'all that in a minute. But first thing I do whenever I'm starting a piece is I will lightly sand it, and I always use my orbital sander, and I use 220. Okay, and then and I like the orbital because if you use those that are triangled, a lot of times they'll leave squiggly marks. So this is the best to use, and this is a Craftsman, and you can set it different settings. It's slow to really fast, and I usually keep it on about a 3 or a 4. And whenever I'm doing a piece, I always take all of my hardware, put it in a Ziploc bag, and then I will tape it to the back of my piece. And I also, 95% of the time, I will also finish the back sides of my pieces. But because you think you're not going to lose your hardware, I have. Because I get busy doing other stuff and I haven't finished that piece, and then it gets moved. So I just always put it in a Ziploc bag, tape it to the back of your piece. And I had a friend of mine call me today from Florida, and she was asking me about the molds after I pour them, how I paint them. And I poured some up because I'm thinking about using these on this piece here on the drawers. And I told her that I have several different ways. I even have a video of whenever I was doing, it just kind of came to me one day. I found some of my old faux finishing powder pigments. And so if there are any of you out there that would like to purchase powder pigments to put in your amazing, in your pours, let me know. But most of the time I will just take them and I will spray paint them. I either use really cheap, or I'll use the more expensive in the hammered metal, the different colors, because it does give you a different effect. And then something else that I've done, I really don't want to get anything on this top because I've already got it ready almost, is I use Miss Lillian's Antiquing Glaze in the ebony, and I'll take just the white after I've pulled it out of the mold, and I just apply it with my chip brush, and I get it down in there in all the crevices, just like that right there. And this really almost gives it a very stone look. Okay, you can see that that is really in there very well. And then I'll just take a rag and I wipe that off. And you can see the effect that that gives. Isn't that pretty? The lighting is really off tonight, y'all. I'm sorry about that. But isn't that pretty? But I'll take a picture of this and post it. Oh, Mary, how are you? And Lisa, y'all doing good? But anyway, she had asked me, and I told her tonight in the live that I would show her how that was done. And it's very easy. And then once those are dry, I use my gilding jewels and I hope y'all can't hear my neighbors, but I opened the garage door because it's hot. I know most of you have already seen how I do the gilding jewels, but for those that might not have, that may see this later, I just put a little on my finger. Tell you what, let me turn the camera down so that y'all can see better, because the lighting is better that way. That way y'all can see what I'm doing. but it doesn't take very much of the gilding jewels. And you can use one color or you can use several colors. But I just think that is really, really pretty. Okay, let me get my page on here right quick. Okay, now, once I have lightly sanded my piece, I will always use vinegar, 50-50 with water, and I'll clean it with that. But I want to show y'all something. You think it's clean, and this is a white rag so that y'all can see. This is Miss Lillian's first step. You're going to be amazed how much stuff this picks up after using the 50-50 vinegar and water. And I'm just going to spray it on my rag. Doesn't take much. Look at that. Is that not I was shocked the first time I used this. I couldn't believe it because I had really scrubbed it really good with vinegar and water. And I was just totally amazed. Did y'all get that? I was totally amazed. So I'm just going to clean it really well. And this one really will be a short one tonight because I want to use the gel stain on the top. I want to show y'all how I apply it, how I take it off, and then what to do to dispose of your stuff properly. Because the gel stains can be combustible if you take your rags. So you would have to have quite a few of them. But say you've got a pretty good pile of them, and then they can get hot. It causes heat, and they can catch on fire. So what I do is I always keep a bucket with a Walmart bag in it with water. And whenever I get through using the brush and my gauze, it goes in here until garbage day, and then I dispose of it in the garbage. But I think that's good. And like I said, I think I'm going to use the Vintage Chestnut of Miss Lillian's gel stain on the top. And then the drawers and the sides I'm going to paint. Haven't decided yet exactly what I'm going to be doing, but okay, I'm going to scoot back just a little bit so that y'all can see whenever I apply it. Oh, I still hadn't got my, y'all hang with me just a second. So that, of course, I won't be able to answer the questions until I'm done, but I still like to have it on. Okay. And I just use just an old chip brush so that I can just throw it away because I'm not going to clean it. There's no need. And in this, I will put a liberal amount. It's the only time that I don't teach less is more, as many of you know. And you want to make sure the stuff around you, because it's very easy to sling this whenever you're doing it. I am the world's worst. But I do put on quite a bit whenever I'm doing this. And this piece, I can put it all on the whole piece and then take it off. But say I was working on an end cap in a kitchen area, I would do the upper part and then I would leave this really thick, and we call that a wet edge. And that way you can pull and stop once you get into that area, and then you can come from the bottom and come up and then blend the two together. First time I ever did that was quite scary. But I was working with my friend at the time. She in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We worked together for about 1.5 years. Some good times. Okay. Now I'm going to take my gauze and I make squares just like that. And normally I'll use 2 together. And I definitely wear gloves. My hands are bad enough as they are. Oh yeah, see, I've already got it on my screen. Hey Sandra, I can't tell who all's on. Everybody's already passed by. John White, hello from Minnesota. Wow, that's up there. That's cold country. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my folded pieces and I hold it just like that. And that's how I remove my water-based glazes. That's how I sand. That's how I do a lot of things, because that way you're not getting any corners to dig into your finish. And normally I would go down to the end and stand, because you want to make sure that it is completely straight whenever you start pulling this off. Wow, that is a beautiful color. As you can see, I'm still using the same piece of gauze. I haven't switched it. And then I'm very, very lightly coming back, and I'm just barely touching, because what that's doing is it's almost leaving a wood grain look with the gauze of the leftover gel stain that's left on the gauze. Did that make sense? But you do want to make sure that you keep it in a straight line. You don't want any weaves. And it's okay to have a darker area, as you can see right here. That's fine, because that's how wood is. And let me scoot this back just a tad so that y'all can see. I hope y'all can see this corner right here. Whenever I laid the gauze back on, it offloaded some on the edge, and I like that because it makes it look older. So say I wanted to do that all the way across, you can see the effect that I'm getting right here. Of course, the glare may be preventing you from seeing that. Let me turn. Okay. I think that is better. Does that show up better? It's really hard to tell from my view. But if y'all can, and what I'll do is I'll take some close-ups. And so I like it just how it is. I'm gonna come down on this end and I'm gonna do the same. Just a little. And then I'm just gonna barely touch the edge right there, just a hair. And I'm done. I'm not going to do any more to it. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to throw it in the water. Now, whenever this is dry, it'll be dry in the morning. Well, out here it won't, because of the humidity. That is going to play a big factor. If the humidity is high, like it is at my garage, it's probably going to take a couple of days. And to top coat a piece like this, just the top, I will wait. After it's dry, I'll wait 3 to 4 days before I use a top coat. And I usually go in with Miss Lillian's Lackluster, which is a flat. And I put it on, and I'll show y'all whenever we get to that. It'll be later, because it's probably going to be next week before I get that done. I put it on with a sponge. I don't use a brush to put on my Lackluster. I use a sponge. So, that is all I want to do tonight to the piece, because I don't want to get any paint on this at all, and I know how I am. Now, let me, if I can, I want to show y'all